It's been almost 2 weeks since there have been any real updates about the Roblox YouTuber Parlo, who hasn't been seen online for nearly a month now, mainly due to his arrest on September 11th, which happened in the middle of the night, as we've discussed in prior videos. In those prior videos that I made, I showed just how grossly the UK legal system has been throughout this entire situation, and unfortunately, since those videos came out speaking about all of this, the situation has only gotten worse. Despite the original report coming out from Natspop, who admitted on video that he lied to the police, there are now numerous other people getting involved, such as Nathrix, Saith, and Dr. Sonic V2, all of whom we have spoken about on this channel before. Now, one person, Nathrix specifically, has countless victims and actually manipulated and Parlo when he was still a minor. Parlo is a victim of
looks like a Mr. Baseman
is still platforming this alleged with his disgusting lies. In this video, I want to give you all an update on where things currently stand, explain where Parlo is right now as it's been 2 weeks, and expose the people who are still attacking him, such as Nathrix, who literally manipulated when he was younger. We have a lot to talk about, so please make sure to like the video, subscribe, and share it with a friend to help spread the truth. Be sure to stick around until the end, because this video actually includes a statement from Parlo himself speaking about where he currently is and what he's doing with his life. Just to establish some quick context so that this video makes sense, on September 11th, 2025, the Roblox YouTuber Parlo was falsely arrested over what was known as the dupe situation, a case where Parlo was catfished and the person he was talking to lied about his age. Dupe claimed to be 17 turning 18, while Parlo was 19 at the time. Later, Dupe suddenly went public claiming that he was actually 12, which completely flipped the story and sparked a massive smear campaign full of fake screenshots, doctored messages, and false accusations, which were pushed by criminal groups like the UTTP, organizations like the 7-7 group, and even some very disgusting predators like we're actually going to speak a lot about in this video. All of this eventually led to a false police report filed by Natspop, who deliberately left out all the messages proving that Dupe had lied about their age. That report resulted in Parlo's wrongful detainment by the UK Police Department, who acted on misinformation instead of actual fact. During our conversation with Natspop, he admitted to submitting misleading evidence and outright said that he wanted Parlo to get arrested. Since then, things have only been spiraling out of control even further, with Natspop and some of his associates like Saith and Dr. Sonic V2 have been spreading fake edited clips and forged messages of Parlo to try to frame him. They've also been reporting his YouTube channel, which now sits on 2 community guideline strikes, putting it at a serious risk of deletion. It's now become clear that this entire situation was never about truth or justice. It was about destroying Parlo's reputation and silencing him before he could even defend himself. Now that the context is clarified, let's get into the new updates to this situation. So a few days ago, Saith decided to take the situation to a whole new level by going into his Discord server, pinging everyone and saying, "I hope you rot in hell, Parlo. Just know your actions have consequences. I've linked every document and video to the feds, and soon enough, we might do a stage in the server calling the police in the UK and explaining them the situation, such as him trying to meet up with a 12-year-old in a hotel and allegedly meeting up with them." That whole statement alone should tell you exactly what type of person we're dealing with here. Not only is this statement completely fabricated because it's provably false, Parlo never met up with Dupe, and every single one of the interactions happened online. Parlo
this drama is getting worse.
Dupe was a legal adult in the UK the entire time. Saith is now claiming that he filed a report to the police and even posted screenshots showing a submission confirmation for assault, which, by the way, has nothing to do with the actual situation. He didn't even file it under child as he's desperately trying to claim online. That alone shows how he's not being honest. He's just throwing around random accusations at a wall to see what sticks. And the worst part, he's openly admitted his intentions in that same announcement. He literally admitted that he had people find Parlo's personal information, and to make things even more absurd, he followed it up with another message saying, "If Guangla uses this against us, keep in mind Parlo tried to meet up with a 12-year-old in a hotel." Again, it's completely false. There is zero proof that Parlo ever knew Dupe was 12, and a ton of proof actually showing the complete opposite. Back then, Dupe's docs listed him as an adult, and Dupe himself said that multiple times that docs information was accurate. In fact, I personally interacted with Dupe back in 2022, long before this entire situation even started, and he told many people that he was 14 in 2022, and in 2024, I actually have a screenshot here, he was telling people that he was 16. This perfectly aligns with what Parlo said, that Dupe claimed to be 17 at late 2024, turning 18 later in 2025. So not only is Saith lying, he's also reporting something that he knows isn't true. He's labeling it as despite them not even ever meeting up in real life. just to make it sound
How
more
can
serious.
it be a rape?
Then he's also bragging about it publicly as if it's some kind of victory. This isn't justice. This is literal performative harassment. And let's not forget that in that same message, Saith said that they might host a public stage call with the police to explain the situation. He's not contacting law enforcement to actually make a report. He doesn't give a about the truth. I think this actually needs to be pointed out even more. If you ever contact the police while you're in a stage or while you're trying to just basically show off that you're speaking to the police, I think that's really disingenuous, first of all, and I think that's just really weird in general. It'd be one thing if you're filing a report for a video so the police can provide context for your video, but they're literally talking about doing a stage just to laugh about how Parlo's getting reported. He's doing all of this just because he wants an audience. It's a cloud chase, a desperate attempt to make Parlo's spin into a skeptical, which actually leads us to the next section about Natharex. While Saith was off making his own false police reports and spreading lies about Parlo, we're going to jump back a bit to Natspop, who filed the original report, because Nats continued his efforts to falsely report Parlo by collaborating with Natharex. Together, they've been working to twist the narrative, feeding misinformation into the situation and weaponizing it for clout. But here's the most disturbing part. The same person Natspop has been defending, Natharex, is someone who has a long and well-documented history of manipulating Parlo when he was still a minor. So just to quickly clarify the whole timeline, when all of this happened, Parlo was 17 years old, still legally a minor, meanwhile Natharex was 22, and during that time, Natharex openly admitted to offering Parlo substances and inviting him to smoke together in person. When confronted, he brushed it off with, "I was just being nice. Sorry about that." That's not being nice, that's offering to a minor, which is an actual crime in the UK. But this wasn't
So
an
Natharex pretty much
Over the course of
projecting.
2022 and 2023,
Like, he should be
Natharex repeatedly
charged.
used emotional manipulation to keep Parlo under control, sending disturbing messages like, "If I stop coming online, I'm..." or "prison would be preferable to that ward." He even sent "they're here" right before being taken into custody, using emotional distress as a way to hold Parlo's attention and sympathy. In their private conversations, Parlo can be seen constantly trying to de-escalate and calm him down, while Natharex would guilt-trip him, frame himself as the victim, and isolate Parlo emotionally. Parlo later said it himself. "You tried to make it out that it was me and you against the world. Natharex, you'd shower me with compliments all the time." That is textbook gaining emotional control through sympathy and dependency, making the victim feel responsible for your well-being. And now, after all of that, Natharex is back online, still trying to rewrite history. He's been mocking Parlo's arrest, making edits of him being taken away on his YouTube channel, and publicly pretending to be the moral authority in the situation where he was the one who took advantage of a minor. To make matters worse, Natharex and Natspop have been feeding these same lies directly into the current discourse, presenting Parlo as the when the actual evidence shows the complete opposite. There are Discord logs, direct admissions, and even public tweets where Natharex says things like, "Successful, Parlo is now trans." This is the same person who once broke down in a panic attack over his own arrest, saying, "I'm still shaking, prison would unironically be preferable to that ward." And now, after being through all that, he's trying to project his guilt onto the person he once manipulated. I just want to clarify, this is not the full problem with Natharex. There are a lot more things that need to be spoken about, so there will be a full video covering Natharex's complete history, all the screenshots, all the message logs, literally everything. All of his ongoing manipulation will be coming out very soon in a video within the next 1 to 2 weeks. And when it does drop, there will not be any room for doubt. Now, before we move on to another situation, or where Parlo is right now, I do want to quickly address a video that has come to my attention recently where people are claiming that Parlo is a because the laws don't defend him, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. So the person I'm actually talking about right now is a channel named Mr. Negative. I know, guys, very big channel, I'm sorry. Now, despite what a lot of people think or what a lot of people say, and by people I mean big YouTubers, a lot of people just assume that it's better to ignore these smaller channels because they're just trying to get attention. And I'd understand that if that wasn't with this situation this serious. And unfortunately, I get the impression that that person was not satire in his video whatsoever. So another reason is that I've seen this point get echoed a lot on multiple channels, so might as well bring it up here. Because if I'm being completely honest, it's a really dumb look. So we'll use Mr. Negative as an example, because he made a 20-minute long video, a serious breakdown of the Parlo case, packed with memes, movie clips, and out-of-context screenshots. The video tries to discredit Parlo's legal explanation of the Offenses Act, but it ends up showing just how little research Mr. Negative actually did. The first issue that I personally noticed was that he used the wrong law. Parlo wasn't accused of activity with a child. That section applies only to physical contact. The correct statute for that would be Section 15A, which is communication with a child, which covers online messages and includes a clause for reasonable belief when someone is deceived about age, which, again, that is Parlo's case. He was deceived about Dupe's age. Mr. Negative completely ignored that and compared unrelated offenses to make Parlo look guilty. Another thing is that he cropped and twisted evidence.
He's
Every
playing the
screenshot
other
he
side
showed
pretty
conveniently
much.
cut out parts where Dupe said that he was 17. Those missing lines prove Parlo believed Dupe was of age in the UK,
Blindly.
but Mr. Negative removed them to push a false narrative. Another thing, Mr. Negative's analysis was built completely on opinions. There were no facts included in there. He repeatedly said that a reasonable person would have known without citing anything. The actual law directly supports Parlo's explanation about reasonable belief in online cases, something that Mr. Negative clearly didn't read. And finally, if your serious legal videos full of memes and jokes, you're not educating anyone. You're mocking a real investigation for views. It's misinformation disguised as entertainment, and because of creators like this, lies spread faster than the truth, and this case is the perfect example of that. Now, before we actually end off the video, I do want to show you guys something that really puts everything into perspective. Tomorrow, Parlo's going to be releasing a video about basically everything he's been going through over the last month, and I was given early access to it, and I'm allowed to share it with you guys, and honestly, it was really difficult to watch.
This past month has been one of the worst periods of my entire life. The stress, anxiety, and effect that this has all had on my life has been extremely overwhelming. If you're watching this video, I've made it to tell you, the viewer, and my fans that I am not doing well, and I've currently been diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety, and have been given pills to numb the pain and make it barely manageable.
So that's
That's
the reality
sad.
of what this entire situation has done to him. This isn't internet drama anymore. It barely was internet drama. This is someone literally breaking down from the weight of lies, defamation, and harassment. He's not sleeping, he's been prescribed medication just to feel something close to normal, and he's admitting all this publicly, that he's not okay. That's how far all this has gone. I get that people want to make jokes about Parlo just because he addresses literally everything he sees on Twitter, but he's sitting there trying to numb the pain with antidepressants just to get through another day. I'm not sure if you guys are able to tell, but I was able to hear it in his voice from the way he was speaking. That's not somebody who's fighting for clout. He's literally holding on by a thread.
The initial report that led to my arrest left out key information of Dupe lying about their age and catfishing me, to which they admitted on their own volition, and this report painted me as something I was not, with false inferences, of course, as well obfuscating the reasonable belief clause in their initial emails.
Even in his own words, Parlo confirmed everything I've been showing in this video, that the reports were incomplete, misleading, and stripped of the very clause that proves his innocence, reasonable belief. That clause exists for a reason, because online, people can lie about their age, catfish, and manipulate identities, but that doesn't matter to those spreading false claims.
I feel as if my life has been permanently damaged by doing YouTube, and that there is virtually no way of just starting a new life for myself outside of the internet.
His YouTube channel, the thing he built for years, is now flooded with strikes and demonetization. He's lost his income, stability, and peace of mind. And the people responsible for all this don't even care.
And the fact that some people can't even empathize with my position, but instead make disgusting comments directed towards me and mock it, it's just seriously shocking.
This is what happens when people forget that behind a username or behind a channel, there's an actual person. Someone who's being publicly humiliated, mocked, and dragged through the mud over false reports and forged recordings, all for the sake of clicks and views. Now, I don't want to sugarcoat anything, obviously, so I'm just gonna say this outright. I understand the people who are weirded out by Parlo's messages with Dupe. I completely understand that. I was weirded out by them too. But that doesn't mean that Parlo's a or like people are trying to claim over this situation. That doesn't apply to this whatsoever. I think what makes all of this a million times worse is that all of this is targeted. I mean, he literally has 2 strikes on his channel right now. He had 3 at some point. Thankfully, the 3rd one got resolved quickly. But
Yeah,
he
it's
had
a
2
whole
strikes
war
on
on
his channel.
him,
One more
pretty
strike, his
much.
channel is kapoof, never coming back. And then he ends off that video by saying that he's going to be quitting Parlo for a while.
And for this channel, it is a goodbye for now, but I'm hoping it's not a goodbye forever. I've made mistakes, and I've held myself to account for a lot of those, and I'm literally the furthest thing away from perfect. And I'm not someone who is exempt from criticism either, trust me. But this past month has been one of the most horrific times of my entire life, and I wouldn't wish it on a single soul.
Whether you guys agree with Parlo or not, you can't deny what all of this has turned into. A YouTuber falsely accused, criminalized, and silenced, all because people couldn't wait for the facts. He's not even asking for pity. All he wants is for people to understand that he's not a creep or anything people want to make this situation into.
Thank you all for watching and empathizing with my position. It genuinely means more than you can possibly imagine seeing all these positive comments, especially with how much negativity is happening right now. But that's all I have to say with this video. Please share the video, please like the video, please send it to anyone who's questioning what's happening to me right now, because I get if you're confused, but that's all I have to say for now. Goodbye.
And as Parlo said, if you watched this far into the video, please share this video.
Poor Parlo, shout out to Parlo, man, that is crazy.